Welcome aboard, it's Captain G. This is Newblood, 16.7, January 1944, Italy. Before we start Italy's turn, just a minor bit of housekeeping on the Commonwealth French turn. The Anzac pirates sorting out of their little pirate cove toward the Japanese Empire. There was a major port in one territory, but it couldn't be used for the coastal sub. It needs a sub base. And then the transport that was off of Sydney doesn't have a major port. So Lancer Bolt looked at that, and he will do the housekeeping to correct that move at the beginning of the US KMT turn. So we're not going to address that now. We'll let him fix that, but we wanted to call it out. So if everyone's looking for those corrections, you'll see it on the next video. All right, so Italy is going for their second tech, long range air. We're at stage 1. We need an 8 or more to get to stage 2. Generalissimo, Eggman?
3.
3. All right, well, there you go. 30 IPP for the Italians this turn. We're spending 11 to lend lease to our nationalist Spanish brothers and sisters to hopefully put an end to their war. We're spending 4 to complete construction of the heavy cruiser we started last time. That's 15. We're buying an artillery for 4. That is 19. We're doing an infantry and a marine as well for 7. That's 26. And then a militia and a militia upgrade for 4 more. That takes us to 30. Remainder 0. Get this out of the way. The lovely new build plate, so much easier to move and lots of room than the little coasters that we used to use. All right, combat. We do have a couple combats. The first is with the combined Axis Expeditionary Force. This strategic bomber at the Maharashtra Air Base is moving 1, 2, 3. We'll have 4 movement left. It will strategically bomb, or I always say that wrong, carpet bomb British Malaya. That's the first attack. And then we have a series of convoy raids. So, Egg, if you'll do this one, we have the seaplane in Southwest Africa that's going to go out 1 and do map in the sea zone that has both of those convoy routes. So we'll roll 1 dice even. We can apply a max of 1 on the, what is that? The East Africa line, and up to 3 on the West Africa line. Additionally, out of Gibraltar, we're bringing the medium bomber and both Italian fighters into A44 to fly map and do even rolls for the convoy rating of the Atlantic and the East Africa line. And then from M2 on the 2nd Italian Fleet, we have the fighter that was on the carrier. You will also move 1 to go on map and then be able to return back to the carrier. So that is all of our combat. Let's go ahead and get 3 dice at 2 to carpet bomb the holdouts in British Malaya. 2 or less.
1.
1. Outstanding. So it truly is a combined Axis effort. That takes off 1 British Far East Command Gurkha, and will land the plane during the non-combat. So now we're going to use the green Italian die and the red British die for our convoy rolls. We'll start with the seaplane, even, and we have the 2 lines to choose from if we win.
None.
None. All right, so give me the 2 dice and the cloud. So that's nothing on the East Africa line. All 3 on the West Africa line are still in play. Let's now do the 4 aircraft here one at a time. Start with the medium bomber.
1.
1. All right, so we'll put that on. See, this line has 2 left because the Germans did 4. So we'll do 1 on that. Okay, well, I'll just do the 1 in front of the bomber. Okay, now let's do the fighter.
1.
1. All right, so that's 2. So that maxes out this line. That leaves a max of 3 on the West Africa line.
3.
3. Outstanding. So the 4th plane is not even needed.
But I didn't get it.
Didn't get anything anyway. So it would have been more dramatic had we rolled that one first, but the results are the same. So nothing in Africa, and 3, 4, 5 more IPP off of the British from the Atlantic line and the West Africa line. Outstanding. Okay. Non-combat then. So from Iran, southern Iran, moving 1 to I6, 2 to I7, 3 to I4, 4 to I3, 5 to Tanganyika, and 6 to Sudan. We're flying our immortal air transport. From the C zone in M2, if you can pass up the task force so they can see what all is in there. I'll just put it right here for now. We're taking the first transport at M2, who is going to go 1. We're using the major port in Gibraltar. 2, pick up the infantry and the artillery. And then 3, deposit them in Syria. The second transport will pick up 2 mountain infantry from Gibraltar. There are 3 Italian mountain infantry. We're going to take 2 of them. And we're just going to do a mad dash 1, 2 and drop them off in Syria. Then in M3, we're going to pick up a medium armor and an infantry out of northern Italy and go 1, 2, 3 and deposit them in Syria. Oops. Wow. This guy's making a mess. Okay. From northern Italy, we're going to rail 1 infantry and 1 artillery to Peloponnese into the rail line in Greece. Actually, Thessaly is the end of the rail line in Greece. Okay. And then we're also going to rail, because we have 4 in Europe, 1 Marine and 1 medium armor into Paris to join the other Marine and the other medium armor who are taking up garrison duty in Paris. Joining the task force at M2, we're taking out the newly fully repaired battleship out of the port in Gibraltar. And we're sending the 2 light cruisers in M3 up to join the task force as well. From, what is that, Eggman?
Obanguichari.
We're sending both infantry and the artillery into Sudan to pair up with the transport. We're moving the motor rifle unit 1, 2 into Chad, and we're sending the colonial infantry 1 into Chad. And then the tactical bomber in southern Iraq will join this large Italian force in Syria. Last thing to do is to land the aircraft that move. So we're going to take all the air off of map. We're going to land the seaplane in Cape Town. We're going to land the medium bomber back in Gibraltar. We'll pull this task force up to view and show you what's in Gibraltar and what's, because we made a couple changes. We're also going to land one fighter in Gibraltar. We're going to land this naval fighter back in the M2 on the light carrier. And then this fighter, we're going to land in Portugal for the garrison duty with that force there. Okay. That completes all of our non-combat movement. We're going to place units.
Strategic bomber.
Oh, the strategic bomber. Yes. Yeah. Back at Maharashtra Air Base. Thank you, Egg. All right, place units. We're going to send from the northern Italy port to the West Andalusia port this tactical bomber. It can't go into East Andalusia because of the value of the unit is more than a minor port. It takes a major port, so we have to land it in West Andalusia. We have the heavy cruiser, which we're going to finish in M3. We have one marine, one infantry, and the artillery in northern Italy. We're going to build a militia and the militia upgrade in Portugal using the port in A35. So the militia that's there becomes an infantry, and then we build the new militia. So that completes our buys. We didn't change any IPP value, so Italy will return with 30 IPP, same as what they were, and we didn't change any of the Allies' IPP or anyone else's during that turn. So that completes what we're doing. We're going to do a quick recap on a couple territories that changed for those playing who want to make sure their forces are updated. But next up will be Lancer Bolt with the US KMT and the housekeeping for Anzac. All right, so in Portugal, we have a Marine, an infantry, a militia, and one fighter. In Gibraltar, we have, of the Italians, a medium bomber, a fighter, one mountain infantry, one militia, and 3 regular infantry, 2 German fighters, one German mountain infantry, 1 German artillery in Gibraltar garrison. There's also a fortification, coastal artillery, and an air base on that mountain territory. In M3, we have an escort carrier with a fighter, 2 battleships. The orange was fast battleships. It doesn't mean anything in this game, so it's just a battleship. So 2 battleships, 3 light carriers, light cruisers, and 1 destroyer in M3. And then in Syria, we've landed this turn a total of 2 mountain infantry, 1 artillery, 1 medium armor, 2 infantry, and 1 tactical bomber, sharing space with the 2 German infantry. And nothing changed in southern Iraq as far as ground forces. The transport flew away, and it went to Sudan, where it's there with an artillery and 2 infantry. So that's it. As I said, turning it back over to Lancer Bolt. For Eggman, I'm Captain G. Over and out.